Hello and namaskaram, everyone. I'm really happy and really glad that with your love and your support, I'm really very active these days and I'm uploading podcast regarding spirituality, regarding our lives, regarding readings, regarding traveling. So today we have a very special guest and he's none other than Ram Gurung Anna. Yes, Ram Gurung Anna. By profession, he's an engineer and he's a businessman. But beside all these, he chose to the part of spirituality. He chose the part to connect with the God. He knew that beyond everything, beyond career, beyond money, beyond materialistic things, the most important thing is to connect with God. The most important thing is yoga. The most important thing is to be happy. And he chose this path, the path of spirituality, the path of he's a meditator and he has a very deep knowledge, guys, very deep knowledge. Throughout the podcast, it was goosebumps. The way he speaks, the way he's reflect his energy, and the way he's reflect his knowledge towards us. It is really amazing, guys. Give me feedbacks, give me suggestion, because you are the one who puts value and motivate me to make more and more podcast. Ramana Namaskaram. I'm really very happy to invite you here again. Last time, I think 2 years back, where I started my podcast journey with you. And today we are here in a small studio, and the main purpose of this podcast is to invite people like you, and so that they share their experience, their journey of spirituality and different kinds of phases and different kinds of journey they went through, so that it will put values to our audience and youths. So Ramana, I am really feeling very happy. I cannot express into my words today. I am really happy, and really Siva and Sadhguru has blessed us to be here again. So tell us, actually yesterday I gave some instruction to ChatGPT. I just want to show that how technology has evolved. And I talked about you to ChatGPT version 5, that my guest is coming and he is Ramana, what he is doing and what he is up to. And he recorded everything, and I told her that do you have any questions you want to ask him? And she said yes. She has multiple questions, many questions. But among that, she want to ask you 2 questions, and we'll start from there. Actually, we'll start from there. Hello, are you there? Hello, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm right here, Bubba. Just let me know what's on your mind today.
So Ramana is in front of me. We are in the studio. We are doing podcast. So do you have any questions for him? You can ask him and welcome him right now.
Absolutely, I'd be happy to jump in. Hey, Ramana, welcome to the podcast. It's great to have you here. One question I'm really curious about is how your experience was at the Sadhguru Ashram in the U.S. And maybe a follow-up, what was the most memorable moment for you there? So feel free to share.
So we'll start with this one.
Okay, thank you very much to both of you for inviting me, Bijay, as well as, I do not know her name, but ChatGPT version 5 as of now. So thank you very much. This is one of many podcasts that we did in various different languages. Thank you very much. So basically, to jump off with the question, I hope that we are continuing from the podcast with the premise that you guys know a little bit about me. So recently, I went for the Lingavaravi Devi consecration in Tennessee, the III, or also known as the Isha Institute of Inner Sciences. So to share my experience, this was not my first consecration to attend with Sadhguru. This was my 4th one. So the first one, of course, like I think Vijayan also participated. There were like a Naga consecration, a Lingavaravi temple in Nepal, and there was a Yogeshwara Linga consecration also in Bengaluru. So there were many. So of course, one of the greatest was Sadhguru bringing the divine femininity into US, and he took us through like many other processes. But the most memorable experience would be, after the consecration, visiting the temple for the first time for the darshan, and she's reverberating like crazy. Although, like, if you guys do not know, if you have not been to the ashram, like, it is a 2-story temple complex, and the vision of Sadhguru is tremendous. That I would like to, share that,
Please.
Something, because Tennessee Triple I ashram is very old. It's not new. Maybe people are now knowing about it, but it has been there for decades and decades. Like Sadhguru has been building it, and most of us were unsure that why he built that ashram initially. Initially, he consecrated the Adiyogi over there. There's a linga on the top of the, like I mentioned, there's a 2-story building, and on the top, it's reverberating. It's crazy kind of linga. I think many of the linga that we see now, which is still alive, would have been like that at one time. But of course, because of the maintenance, lack of maintenance, they have been, slowly waning out with their energies and everything. I will not go into that one. It is going to be a big topic, of course. But in terms of the Triple I, the linga is very powerful. You don't even need to go very close. It's reverberating like crazy. The moment you open the door and enter, it hits you like that. But like I said, the vision of Sadhguru is quite crazy, because he announced about the Lingavaravi project only a few years back. And now, when you go over there, you cannot believe that sanctum sanctorum of the Devi is just under that linga.
Wow.
So you cannot believe how long and how meticulous that vision was, that the eventual project was to bring Devi there. So entire ashram and then the linga was there to prepare for the Devi to arrive. And you cannot believe the crazy thing is it might sound like crazy. I'm neither the believer or non-believer of astrology or numerology or whatever it is. But it's very uncanny that I had actually shared one of the posts. If you're interested, I can share that afterwards. You can include in the podcast, so that people can see it.
Yes.
Maybe embed in this picture while I'm speaking. If you look into the numbers of the roads, because in US, the roads are numbered. Okay, for example, here, we have a small country, so all the names are given towards the historical people with very significant people, like Siddhartha Highway, Prithvi Highway, and so on.
Ram Highway. There is Rampath. Ramsa.
Ramsabad, yeah. So basically, in US, the roads are too many. Big highways are named and numbered. So if you, it's quite crazy that the highways numbers are actually related with numbers that has to do a lot of significance with the Devi, and the number of nadis in your system, and number of chakras and everything. For example, I'll give you a simple example that one of the highway passing around that region is a 111.
Wow.
Okay, that is one. Okay. The other one is the road that literally, there's a highway and that directly leads to the Devi temple is number 8. I think you guys know about the significance of 8. There's Ashtamatrika for 8 direction in Kathmandu Valley, each of the cardinal direction, the Devis temples has been consecrated in Kathmandu, Bhaktapur, and Patan.
Yes.
And not only that, Ashtamatrika also comes with the Ashtami, Mahashtami, I think you know. Yeah, Ashtami is the very, very significant for the Devi Upasakas and Devi, practitioners and everything, whether in Tantra and all that kind of stuff. Ashtami is always regarded as the day of gaining the Siddhis, and that's where the word comes Ashtasiddhi also. So all these kind of things, Devi are there, and if you divide your hemisphere, both of this, with your chakras and everything, you will get 108. You can divide that into 54 chakras on Ida and Pingala. All that number is there, and each numbers are multiple of that.
Wow.
It's quite uncanny and everything. And all the roads that joins, okay, And the moment you come out of that network, any of the roads that joins directly, indirectly, once it goes out, they don't make any sense. And it might be like a sound of like a little bit controversial and everything, but I'm just like sharing my experience. Before sharing, it might be like a quite tricky and funny and all that kind of stuff. I'll share like a little bit different thing than this one. Recently, like we went to Chicago because like the place is important from the context of the Jiddu Krishnamurti also, because when the Theosophical Society of America, when they wanted to find this ultimate guru, what Buddha refers as a Maitreya or the future master. So they came to India and then they found out a few of the kids who they found maybe this might be the possibility. So they brought Jiddu Krishnamurti and his brother to United States, and Chicago is one of the places we visited. That place, that is where they actually trained him and nurtured him in a way. So that was the reason. But another reason to visit Chicago was because a few years back, like I saw one of the Nepalese person, like who I think like is working as a professor, actually found the necklace of Talesu Bhavani in the Institute of Art Museum in Chicago. So, and Talesu Bhavani, for me, it has got like a big role and everything. I would not want to go too much into that one, but somehow like I wanted to have a darshan, her darshan in the Western Hemisphere, you want to say, but there's no Western or Eastern, but in terms of the contextually, if you want to, explain to the people so that they can understand. So I was wondering like, what is this about? And I wanted to have a darshan. So I went to the Institute of Art and there has been like a lot of protest and everything. Like we do not know like how it end up. There are many reasons. I think you guys know that how many things has end up in different popular museums all across the world. So I just wanted to go there, and then like recently I saw the news that like a lot of Nepalese people living in US, they were protesting and trying to bring it back. But it might sound like a little bit controversial and different thing, but my understanding, I'll tell you, the crazy thing is, I just wanted to have a darshan initially, and I just went. And me and another meditator, like, there are like the Institute of Art Museum is pretty big. And unknowingly, like when we went for the yatra, it was a 10 days yatra, and then on the day one, we went over there, and we found out that like the museum was closed. And what is the possibility, because it's a big one and it has got multiple entrances. Okay, and since we were unable to do that, we continued with our yatra. We went all across the nearly 5 or 6 states of United States, and finally end up in Illinois again, back in Chicago on the final day. Like I had to catch the flight from there, and we went to like an Institute of Art, and we took the train. The train system is very good over there. It's one of the oldest in the United States. And as we got off, and then it might twist your mind, okay? So when we went over there, and then like, just like I mentioned, there are multiple entrances to the same building.
Yes.
And we took one of the entrances. I think it was a west one, possibly. I'm not sure. Google map looks like it's a west, okay? So as we went, and then I was in a queue, and I turned my head around, and then you're gonna believe the building number was 111.
Oh, wow.
And that hit me, and then like I checked the Lingam temple, and then this Institute of Art Museum, or you can say McMinnville, which is the place where III is, and Institute of Art, where the Chicago is, they actually fall in the same longitude actually. If you, for example, like this, if you see like this, if you draw this vertical line, it actually falls, the only difference is in terms of the degrees only, okay, few degrees. So, like I said, like it might be controversial, but my understanding is like the Devi chose to be there.
Wow.
Because, in terms of our identification, we might think that like I'm Nepalese, I'm Indian, I'm American, and all that kind of stuff. But what we refer as a divine, because what we refer as a Talesu is also, we see got the name because of the culture at the time and the civilization of this Kalpa. Because as you know, many people say that like a pre-Vedic era, the Pashupatinath is like at least like 8,000 years old. Okay, so we don't have any records of that time. Like we do not know like what languages people used to speak and everything, what kind of clothes they wore, like what kind of food they eat and everything. But 101% is sure that like they were capable of doing this kind of configuration, which is still alive in very crazy, phenomenal way.
Wow.
So my understanding is like in our limited understanding, we claim that like this God is ours, this deity is ours, and everything. I'm completely okay with that one because like that is the one of the way that the culture that is still surviving in Kathmandu Valley or the Nepal Mandala is like that. But in a way, like all these things that I went through and everything tells me that they actually chose to be there because see, in one way or another, because we started migrating, yes,
Yes.
for whatever reason, political instability or looking for the
Economic.
better future or whatever, or you want to learn new things. So because of that reason, like people started exploring, and somehow like a whole lot of people from the Newari culture or from Nepal, they're also living in US also,
Yes.
and they needed like a certain kind of energy center. I've been to like many Pashupatinath temples in US, and they are very powerful also.
Oh,
There are a
wow.
whole lot of things you cannot believe like these kind of things are possible. It is still like throws me off this chair to speak. But just to come to the conclusion of that, the Devi actually chose to be there, but it's unfortunate that because of, again, it's the right of Nepalese people, it should come back to Nepal. But at the same time, like if you look from the greater scheme of things and everything, somehow like she chose to be there because there are a whole lot of things I do not want to discuss here. There are too many things, let's stop it here.
Wow. I'm really very happy and very curious to know about
Yeah,
all
it has to
this.
come back to Nepal at one time, but until that comes, she chose to be there
This is
in
very,
one way or another. Because, like I said, I neither have belief or disbelief with the numerology and astrology and everything, all this kind of inner sciences and everything. But I'm just sharing my experience that,
So you are engineer, that's why you figure out everything, or you are a spiritual, that's how it's coming to you, or anyone can.
See, one thing is, this is a follow-up question, and it's a good one. To say that somebody is engineer, somebody is spiritual or something, this is actually a wrong way of labeling anyone. Because what we call as a material or spiritual applies only when you are living in the domain of your mind.
Wow.
Okay, if you're not living in the domain of mind, like there's no such thing as physicality, there's no such thing as a spirituality. It's the one entire system, isn't it? Yes or no? For example, like you cannot say that, okay, the earth, for example, like we have got like all these countries and everything mapped here. Yeah. This is only for our convenience.
Yeah, exactly.
And only for like this survival process because just to control our resources and everything. But ask a plant, ask a tree, ask animals, birds, ask the wind, and all these things. Like there's no such thing as that, like that. So in terms of the engineering, I would like to say is, see, like there are two things. One thing is like you can get trained, but I think you might have met like so many people. Everybody goes to the school. Everybody studies math.
Yes.
But why like one person uses math more than the another person? So these are all the tools. These are the tools, and they have got their own place in different things. But whatever reason, and I'm not even worried, what is the purpose or anything like that. After meeting, of course, like a Sadhguru, and in a big significant way, who actually helped me to establish in the way I am at the moment, and many other gurus in the past like that we do not know, and everything, all those beings. And Kathmandu Valley is the product of all those gurus in the past.
Wow, yeah,
it's the product of too many gurus we don't even know.
No, we don't even know.
Yeah. So these are the tools to, once, of course, like you have to go into the college, engineering college, easiest way to get a job, because most of the people don't think that way. And now, like because of the condition of Nepal, that you can get the visa easily, like if you study engineering. That's a different thing altogether.
No more inquiries.
Yeah.
I'm an engineer. Okay.
Yeah, but I would say that these are all the tools. Just like Sadhguru says that whether you make the money or you do sadhana or whatever you do, we're eventually doing for the well-being of the human beings. The only thing that matters is are you only thinking about yourself, your family, or everybody else? Because our life is very short. We can die any moment.
Yeah, exactly.
And whatever is useful, it's a privilege. That's the reason, whenever you are willing, I'm also here. That's what is the only reason. Because whatever we know is limited.
Limited, yeah.
But I would tell that whatever I know is also very vast and very esoteric, and most of the people may not know or may not be interested also. That is the reason many beings will say that whatever we know is going to die with us 100%.
Yeah.
That is going to happen. But at least whatever we can share, we have a platform like yours, and it's a blessing to be with a seeker like you, who is making this possibility and giving us this stage to speak. Yeah.
As you said, everybody has to die one day. This is sure. When you take birth, there is certain that we have to die one day.
Yeah.
There is no any other way. We have to die. This is certain.
And
why people don't understand that? Why people doesn't keep this in mind? I have read one book, and very important book written by Robert Greene, and he said that if people keep only one thing in mind, and that is that I have to die one day, 80-90% of chaos will go back. It will make human being more alert. He says, what you want to say, Anna, about this?
No, I would see if you want the perspective of the truth and everything, see we are having this podcast and it used to be referred as the Nepal Mandala at one time, and before that it was referred as the Mriga study. It is right there. Ananda Banam, where Shiva used to be there, Adiyogi, and of course now we have got the second, the most popular open cremation ground in the world after the Manikarnika Ghat. Yes, Arighat is there.
Yeah.
And that is actually reminding people, that you can die one day. Now I neither agree or disagree with what Green has said, but my perspective is completely different from his. See, at the stage where people are, majority of the people, 100 people, 100% of the people. I'm not saying that because only through my perception, through my experience of life till this point, but also because I have worked with thousands and thousands of people. I'm not bragging, I get bombarded with a lot of things. I've actually slowed down a little bit now because for whatever reason, we're not going into that one. But it's still people are still speaking with me, and when I'm working with people, we always try to give them the possibility. What are the next thing that can be done in terms of yourself and in terms of somebody else?
Yeah.
Because at one period of time, people have great visions.
Yes.
From the rulers to the yogis to the local people. That is the reason Kashi was built. That was the reason Kathmandu Valley was built. That is the reason Ujjain was built.
Yes.
And if you go to South India, you will see one temple in every hill. They don't spare a single hill.
Yes.
And in Nepal also, you go to every hill, every place, every cave, banks of the river, it's there.
Yes.
So it is not like that, people never had this idea that they are not going to die.
Yes.
See, but what is going to happen is at this phase, coming back to current context.
It's only other people who die.
See, the thing is I think because I want to quote this a Western philosophy again, but I can use Eastern mysticism, of course. But if you go by the Western philosophy, you have heard about this Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
So see, people who are still struggling, and I would say that nearly 100% of the people will still be struggling entire life.
Yes.
You have to understand that part.
Yes.
And nearly 100% of the people in the world will never have a clarity.
Yes.
I can guarantee that one.
Yeah.
Now, why that is actually going to happen is because, not for a very difficult reason, but it's a very simple reason, is because of the limited identification with what they know. For example, I'm here. If I identify as a man, now like I'll be biased because my intellect, my mind is going to function as I'm a man.
Yeah.
The moment I sit here as a Nepali, my mind is going to function that way.
Nepali.
Yeah. It will have its own prejudices, biases, and all that kind of thing. If I live here simply as a being, now all the limitation will be gone, and I'll have 100% clarity with everything.
Wow.
That is how it is.
Goosebumps.
That is the reason, like people, when they represent a particular political party,
Yeah.
they cannot think beyond their party.
Yeah.
They cannot think beyond their nation. They cannot think beyond their spiritual lineage.
Rules and regulations they have to follow
So
with.
you can never have a clarity because of all that reason. Because somewhere you might be thinking that like okay, you might think that I have achieved so much and everything, and that is the reason like green has got its own experiences. I'm not saying like it's worthless, but it is a very limited way because that is a very perfectionist way, and perfectionist way is the worst thing you can do in life. You see, what do you actually need to know as a perfectionist? Because he says that everybody needs to know that you are going to die.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you that everybody knows they are going to die. Do you know, like, if you go and speak with your family members or anybody, they know what to do, yes? They know. See, I'll tell you a simple example. Forget about that also. I'll tell you a simple example.
Okay.
Everybody knows that if I hit you,
Yeah.
you will get hurt, yes?
Your heart. Yeah.
You will get angry, and now we are having a nice conversation. I start eating you, like that. Like you will try to beat me also. You want to defend it. Just like that, like people eat meat every day. Yes, people eat meat. A lot of people eat meat every day. Do you think that like they do not know that like animal also get hurt? What do you think?
I think most of the people they don't know.
No, they know. They know the animal get hurt. But like they have been blinded by the taste of the meat.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what it is all
Wow.
about.
That's
You know what I'm saying? So the problem is not because they do not know, but to maintain that awareness 24 hours does not happen through mind. You cannot do that.
Wow.
It is impossible thing. Everybody knows. See, like you go to Aragat, you see, oh my God, life is so ephemeral.
They feel there.
It can go away any moment. But the moment you open your mobile phone, and gone, everything is gone. So the question is, it's not like everybody knows.
Wow, convinced. Yes.
So I'm not saying that like I do not agree or disagree with Green because he has got his own experience, but through my life experience and through interacting with thousands and thousands of people, I'm sharing from my experience that everybody knows what they should do.
But they are not allowed. Anytime when you see the mobile phone or when you indulge in any kinds of pleasure, just you forget that. I want to actually.
They don't even know that like they are indulging in pleasure. That's the big thing actually.
Yes.
For example, like I see, Pashupatinath is there.
Yeah.
How many people actually goes to Pashupatinath and take their time to meditate and try to know the mysticism behind the Pashupatinath?
No, very few.
How many people?
Very few.
Everybody's coming there, yes?
Yes, very few. Yeah.
So why the consecration actually took place actually gives an answer.
Wow.
And that was the whole reason, like nearly 18 months, like I dedicated myself and few other meditators joined on the way to explore all, Indian subcontinent and Tibet, the entire region, to identify these energy spaces only because of that reason.
Wow.
Because, see, like the entire thing about like, maintaining the awareness. For example, like when I'm talking with you at the moment, till now, like I don't have a break in my awareness over. Okay, I'm not using my memory to have a conversation with you.
Oh, yeah.
So it is like this. That is the same thing like I felt tremendously, okay? I felt tremendously when, as you know, like I think you may know me a little bit about because we had this septal campaign in Nepal.
Yeah.
And I felt tremendously, our meditators, everybody, we did for 6 months, literally killed ourselves, no time for eating, sleeping, shitting, and even, you may want to blur that out, shitting and everything.
Oh,
but,
goosebumps.
and even, no time even for sadhana also.
Oh, yeah.
So, just like you asked about this ChatGPT about karma yoga.
Yeah.
So, it was beyond karma yoga, you can say. Because it was a very time-limited thing because we had to do certain kind of thing within a limited time frame. So we did that one, and then we felt the face first. And it might be like a triggering to a few of the meditators also. But I'll tell you, like when we met a person on the way, on the road, like some for a person for the first time who is walking on the road, and I tell them that, do you know that like the soul is dying, and within 20 years time we'll have only like a 50% of the food left.
Yes.
That basically means that like there will be chaos in the world and everything, but we have a real power to change it by bringing something in, legislation and in the policies, government policies and everything, and that way we can make some difference in the world. And we had to write the letter email to the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable President of the country, and they were happy they did it. Okay, they were shocked initially that, okay, wow, so this dying, I didn't know. But if I meet him, the same guy, the next day, maybe like many people have not even thought this way. If you meet the same guy next day and I tell him the same thing about the same soul, he would say, oh, I know this already. I heard about it yesterday. But is knowing is going to make any difference? No.
No, yeah.
It's not going to make any difference, yes? For example, just like that, you know that if you don't eat, you are going to die, yes? Yeah. If you eat bad food, you are going to have all the blockages in your arteries and you are going to have a stroke one day.
True.
Do you think people do not know? Everybody knows. But why people are going into all these restaurants again? See? That is the level of unconsciousness there is.
Unconsciousness, wow.
Now the next thing is, that is completely fine. I can forgive this guy. This guy is just a random guy. He has got so many things to do. Okay? At least he wrote a email to the Prime Minister and everything. Then came the question that, initially there were a lot of people. I don't want to criticize too much, but I'm always critical to myself and to everybody.
We have to.
So even with the volunteers also, initially there were 10, 12 people. We did massive events. You cannot believe. One of the largest events that was done independently was in Pokhara. We had 3,000 people, full house, mayor, all the people from wards, 33 wards are there. We literally killed ourselves, you can say, in a way. You have to see my picture about that. It was drained, completely gone. Okay, just skeleton on it. And I'm not bragging what I'm doing, but I'm telling you the significance, what it is all about.
Yes.
And see, initially there were 10 people, 100 people, whatever it was. Slowly, when I turned around, there was nobody left at the back. So my understanding was explaining SEPs well to a non-meditator who is not striving to become conscious makes sense to me in a way. Okay, I can forgive him that much. But when I look into our meditators also, they are also in the same state.
Oh.
Now, then it hit me. Why? Sadhguru is always talking about conscious planet, conscious planet, conscious planet. Because whatever the greatest thing we offer you, if you are not conscious enough, it will go to the West.
That's true.
Because you cannot maintain that level of awareness and consciousness within yourself. Then whatever comes to you is going to go to the West. And that is where Sadhguru always refers, there are two ways to awareness. The way of the prajna, and there's another way of the samadhi. So prajna is basically means you want to enhance your awareness by yourself. It's just like Bruce Lee said that, I'm not scared of the guy who have practiced so many techniques.
Oh, wow.
But the guy with 10,000 kicks.
Yes.
So it's Buddhism is basically sharpening your awareness, you go on. But how many people do you think is committed to that one? And to expect everybody to sharpen that awareness is not a realistic thing to do. Yeah, that is why I say, if you try to achieve perfection in each and every one, even Sadhguru says you will die a miserable life. Because what you actually refer as a perfection is basically the better version of what you know, isn't it? Yes? What you know, yes? Yeah.
Yes.
What you refer as a perfection at the moment, where you are at the moment, what you refer as a perfection is the best version of what you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But what you know is also limited, yes?
Yes.
So you want to fit everybody into that idea of perfection. It's a tyranny. It's not practical. Okay? So why I'm saying you this is because the yogis knew that people cannot do it. That is the reason in Buddhism, initially people referred it as the Theravada, the genuine form of Buddhism. And many beings, the lineage of the masters after the Gautama Buddha, they realized that it's not going to work for everybody. So to include everyone, they it started with different paths, so like a Mahayana Buddhism, and then come Vajrayana also after like many gurus from different lineages went, and that's how like in Kathmandu Valley is one of the rare places where you can find Theravada, Vajrayana, and Mahayana, and even like you have a different flavor of like Newar Vajrayana is also there. So all these kind of things, because you want to include everybody, because these gurus saw that everybody cannot do it.
Yes.
Okay, and that is the whole reason. The another path of enhancing your perception comes into something known as the way of the samadhi, and that is where all this consecration comes into the play. Now see, 8,000 years ago, we do not know like who are these people,
Yes.
what these guys were speaking, what language they were speaking, what these guys are reading, and everything. But just because of the name of the Pashupatinath, so many thousands and thousands of people, and today is a Tej. So many people are visiting this area. Just one day they become conscious what kind of clothes you should wear. You should be fasting. Yes, fasting is going to have your psychological, physical, spiritual benefits. It prepares you to receive the energies of that place, whether you're conscious or unconscious. At least for one day, they are becoming conscious one day because of these energy spaces. So that is the way, and that is the whole reason like a Sadhguru is also planning to consecrate the entire planet, and he's coming with so many Devi temples, and he's planning for like at least 108 Devi temples plus the Sannidhams all across the Indian subcontinent and beyond, simply because like he saw that like people knows what to do, but they cannot maintain that integrity, and they don't have the impetus. Because see, like if you really want to become conscious, the only way to become conscious is not through books. You cannot never do that.
Yeah.
But books are the starting point to know that like there's a possibility. Because we know Gautama Buddha because of the books. We know about the Shiva because of the books. We also know, many people knows Sadhguru about books or even the videos and everything. And like YouTube is also another form of books. And now ChatGPT is also another form of books.
Yeah.
It's the records and everything. And it's a great initiative that you are doing on. And so Sadhguru saw that like people cannot commit to 40 minutes, so it came down to 21 minutes. And he saw even people cannot do that. It came down to 7 minutes. That's how like he's doing all these projects, so that like people at least know the possibility that you are mortal, and eventually like knowing the mortality is just the beginning. There are more stages even beyond that one. You know the immortal, you know you are mortal, but eventually you have to come to the point that only your body is mortal, you are not mortal. Okay, that is the whole process of the spiritual process. That's the reason like we refer like all the enlightened beings and everyone. Like I wouldn't say like there's not too many words, but you can say that their energy footprint is still there. Everywhere.
Yes.
Shiv Buri Baba Samadhi is right there.
Yeah.
If you go and sit there, like you don't need like people who follows Osho, people who follow Sadhguru, who don't even follow anybody else. Like who just do Buddhist meditation. They can go sit there and then
Boom.
they can know that like is still there.
Yeah, we can feel that. I want to take again you
Yes,
to the Tennessee. So
Yeah.
how it is different from Isha Yoga Center? There is a huge space that sadhak and meditators are living, or just explain it, Anna.
Yeah. So basically, like if you want to ask me and everything, like Tennessee, the possibilities are endless, because in terms of like Nepal, although like it's very fertile and everything, but we don't have much of a land where you can actually grow something or maybe conducive for your sadhana. For example, like we have got a lot of lands in the southern part, but the heat is unbearable, and the weather pattern, the rain, and all that kind of things are not good. But if you look into the Tennessee, like I said, like I gave you the different angle. It was the Devi who actually chose that land.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't want to agree or disagree with anything. Like there's no point of discussion. You can have your own opinion or understanding or something like that. Now, like if you look from the context of the III, you can say that like it's going to be the largest ever spiritual possibility in the world, because it has got whole lot of land, but like a Sadhguru has already decided it has got acres and acres of thousands of acres of land, and then I wouldn't say like thousands or something. I do not know the exact number because I have not looked into the number, but Now there's a construction going on of the East High School. Okay,
Yes.
East High School is Omi School is they are building it, and a lot of people have already bought the land, and there's a yogic city is in the plans.
Wow.
And whatever the land that is under control, they have purchased for the Triple I under the control of Triple I. You cannot believe Sadhguru has decided only 30% of is going to be used for the ashram. Rest of the land will be left just like that.
Oh, wow.
For the preservation and everything. And a lot of people are going in, and I think it is going to take time, but it is down to us volunteers that we want to spread this as much as possible so that more people will start moving. And I can actually see that a lot of people will be moving in, but if you realistically ask me, a whole lot of effort has to be done from the volunteers.
Wow.
It's a big possibility. I would say it's going to be larger than even the IYC and everything, because IYC has certain area limitation because it has got mountains on the side. It cannot grow much because there's a rainforest is also there. But in Triple I, you can expand crazy.
Oh, wow.
Expand.
So people, it is myth or something. People say that when you come to India and Nepal, the whole India is consecrated, Nepal is consecrated because there are most powerful places. But when you are in America or any European countries, there are, you cannot go deep into the meditation, so you cannot feel these kinds of vibes. How it is true, Anna?
Yeah, this is the. I would just connect to the.
And the people are coming from Europe to the Nepal and India to get meditation, to get sadhanas, to get enlightened, because when you see the past. So what is the truth?
Yeah, I'll give you two perspective into this one. This is the same reason we discussed previously the significance of consecration and maintaining your awareness.
Yes.
Now, there are two types of seekers.
Yes.
The type of the seeker who is already established. One thing,
Yes.
Sadhguru uses the word, said that a self dynamo. Okay.
Self
Dynamo.
dynamo.
For example, why you call this a dynamo is because what you actually refer as a spiritual dimension or the divine at the moment, people can experience only through the reverberations. Yes. If you are receptive enough, where you go, the reverberation is there. If you soak in that reverberation, depending on what kind of energy space you are sitting on,
Yes.
it is going to behave differently in your system.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, there are two types. That is the reason, when people went to Gautama the Buddha, he used to give different answers to different people, depending upon which space they are in.
Yeah.
So that is the reason, one of the biggest myths. I'll just take this opportunity, because that is the reason Buddha, for the people who are the beginners who have never tested what is the spiritual dimension or something, you should tell people that life is a suffering. But people who are advanced meditators and everyone who have experienced that another dimension, what we actually refer as samadhi and different states, he said that there's no suffering, there's no happiness. These are all your own creation and everything. You can choose the way it is. Okay? So likewise, people who are already established, wherever you sit, it is a Kailash, wherever you sit is a Bodhi tree, wherever you sit is a Dhanalinga. So for me, I'm sitting right here, I'm right there. Wherever I'm sitting there becomes a Kailash. Where I'm sitting, it becomes, Bodhi tree. So if you have arrived to that state, it doesn't really matter whether you are in this planet or different planet. It doesn't really matter. Geographic thing has nothing to do with spirituality. But now, the question that you are referring to is for the people who are beginners.
Yes.
So when you are a beginner, that is the reason a guru is needed, a sadhana is needed, and a guidance is needed, and an energy space is needed. See, I'll tell you a crazy thing, you may not believe. For example, you are living in a family, because in family, everybody has got their own energy footprint.
Yes.
Okay, they are reverberating in a different way. Now, what you actually refer to the people who cannot maintain the awareness is because their energy, their mind, their body, and everything are in different directions.
Yes.
They are behaving differently. So because of that reason, there's no integrity in the system. But whenever that's the reason Buddha always said Buddham Saranam Gacchami. That basically means Guru is everything. Buddha means not an enlightened being. He's saying a Guru. Buddha means a guru in this context. People do not understand this thing. Misunderstanding is there. Once he says like a Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, he's saying sadhana is everything. Okay. And the final thing is Sangham Saranam Gacchami basically means the spiritual community is everything. Because while we are having a conversation, because you thought that like I'm also a Isha meditator or I'm a spiritual seeker if you don't put the label of Isha meditator. Because Isha meditator is the need of the hour. Okay. You have to go beyond that level also. Okay. We have to be as inclusive as possible, and that's how like a Sadhguru is striving also. So that it is available for everyone. So why I'm actually telling you this is because when you are a beginner and everything, now you are already in that state where you are in a karmic momentum. Okay, why people are going abroad, why people are, wanting to get married and everything is because it's a karmic momentum, everything. Now, are you going there consciously or unconsciously? That's a different thing altogether. Now, if you become joyful by yourself, let's say you hit that dimension within yourself, which is referred as the Anandamaya Kosha, which has no physicality, no time in space, then you are the Bhuteshwaraya, you are the Kaleswaraya, because you gone beyond the five elements, you gone beyond the influence of the time and space. So in that kind of space and everything, it doesn't really matter. But like I said, people who are just the beginners and everything, to know that, they have to go to these spaces initially. But if you got stuck into that one, that is a very disappointing thing, because eventually, if you are really a spiritual seeker, after a while, even after having a samadhi states and everything, going through all these places, like you come to Kathmandu, you go to different places, you got that taste. If you are a really spiritual seeker, you should be getting frustrated.
Yes.
You should be frustrated through spiritual experience. Okay? You should not feel that, I had this experience and then you just lie down. Eventually, it's not going to make much of a difference, because you have seen people who have tried a different kind of jadi buti and different kind of things. They've experienced these kind of things, even more crazier experiences than spiritual experiences. But it's not enduring. It's not making any transformation in your life. Now you came to Nepal, let's say, you experienced something, you went to Kashi, you experienced something, you go back to your country, now you got frustrated, you come back, you become a slave. Yes?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to come back to India again and again. What's the point? That is not a spiritual process. That is what I actually invented a word. Because I was in that state. That's the reason I know what people go through. I invented a word called a nirvana junkie. So that's when you're frustrated. Then you have to look for the real thing. You have to go for the guru. For the one who knows. Okay. Because I got frustrated with that one. And that's the reason whenever I took people to the yatra, people are having wonderful experiences. I told them it's the time to go. Because I want them to get frustrated. Because if you feel good, I've seen so many meditators, they go to that temple every day. There's no growth is going to happen.
Yes, exactly. No, just on additional questions, just follow-up questions. When we go to the very powerful temple, like in Kathmandu and anywhere in this world, what 5 things or how many things on simple visitors should have to understand, what they have to do while they are in temple, so that they can feel some kinds of vibes going to such a consecrated and powerful places?
Yeah. That's amazing question, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll tell you the crazy thing is, just like I said, people know, but they cannot maintain the awareness. But here, this is quite opposite. Because people think that they already know. That's the reason they don't ask this question. See, one of the things you need to keep in mind is to claim that I know something is not a good thing to do in today's world, because there are a whole lot of people they start doing their own policing and everything. Okay?
Yes.
For example, if you write something in the Instagram or a Facebook or something, a lot of people will come on criticizing something like that. And I've arrived to the point that I've worked with so many people. I know that what works and what does not work.
Yeah.
And Sadhguru always says that you have to do only that works. That is the reason I've toned down myself completely. It's just the version of Sadhguru, what you see, it's actually sad. He has chopped off his wings, chopped off his third eye, all that kind of stuff. He have to tone down his energies, and he has to walk like a normal person.
Yes.
Because like people cannot accept the way he is, and that is the problem with all the little bit. I wouldn't claim myself to like advanced meditator or something, but since you have invited me and asked me, that basically means that like I have something to share.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I take people to the yatra or something, because there are a lot of yatras I'm conducting 4-5 continuously. See, like unless a person who is coming for a yatra, unless they are willing, I cannot push them to an extent. Yeah. For example, like even if you have a family member, like if you ask them certain thing, if they are not willing, a lot of chaos is going to happen even in the family. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Same thing with the seeker also. So until they do not come and ask me, I cannot tell them certain things because people have come for different reasons.
Yes, exactly.
They might be tourists, they might be going for something, maybe one more thing to do. I've never been to like I said, like I've visited like more than 1,000 different energy spaces, but I didn't visit them for my reason initially for first 18 months. But now I'm exploring without any mission at the moment. So coming back to your question, so 5 different things that you need to keep in mind is first thing, and I think like one of the things, like if you just observe that every energy space in Nepal, India, and everything, you will always find a water body around them. Have you noticed? All the temples are in the bank of the river.
Yeah.
Even yesterday, like we went to 2 days ago, like I went with Umesh Chandna. He is also a meditator and my long friend from the time of the colleges.
Yeah, I know him.
So for whatever reason, like we met, and then like he said, like Anna, like let's go to this Ananta Lingeshwar temple. So we went over there, and you can see a small pond next to that one on the top of the hill. These guys created that. Okay, we do not know like when it was created, who was the yogi. We do not know the caliber. It's still alive, but it has like something needs to be done with that one. Okay, it's still alive, but not to the extent like it should be. Okay, for example, like if you compare with the intensity of the Adiyogi Linga in Tennessee, it should have been like that way on its heyday. Okay.
Yes.
Now, like a few things. One thing is a water body, which basically means see like what you call as yourself is a physical body. You know? For example, like even to listen to this one, if you, let's say we have taken you to one buffet, you have eaten and came out. Your awareness to this thing, even mine also would be impacted in a big way. Okay. So empty stomach condition, but not very hungry. If you become too much hungry, then like you cannot meditate also.
Yes.
For most of the people. Again, like once you arrive to the establishment of your sadhana and everything, then you can have a full control because you can go into that dimension without using of the external source. Currently, like the question you are asking is, for example, in the winter, do you want to use the heater or do you want to warm up your own body? Okay. Heater is basically using the fire, isn't it? So at the moment, like what you are asking the question is, going to the temple is basically, you cannot generate your own heat. So you want to use the external heat.
Oh, wow.
So how to make use of that one? So because of that reason, the first thing is like an empty stomach condition has to be there because you are not capable of yourself. Okay. So because of that reason, like empty stomach condition, but don't eat too much. Heavy on the other side. The next thing is like having a bath because see what you call as yourself initially, if you are a beginner or you are just a person who is busy with the family life, it's basically like the 5 elements of your body is having a full control on you.
Yeah.
And when you call as a 5 elements in your body, the 5 elements in your body, and 5 elements in my body, and 5 elements in whatever you see around, they have got different programming due to their karmic structure. Okay. The water in your body behaves a different way than the water in my body.
Yes.
So because of that reason, like when you want to go to the temple, you have a bath because in the Ayurveda, there's a word called ama, A-M-A, ama. Ama basically means like every day, just like in the morning when you sleep and when you wake up, you are still alive is because your body went through the recharge.
Yes.
Okay. It went to the recharge and it downloads its own like a prarabdha for this day, prarabdha karma to keep you going. And with that one, the body also releases all the toxins because it needs to purify it. Yes. Otherwise, it cannot live for a long period of time. Okay. For example, you have a vehicle, you have a bike. If you don't do servicing certain period of time, you don't keep it clean, then like it can get rusted and it can go bad very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it needs like a certain maintenance. So every day, like your body releases certain kind of waste materials, which is referred as ama. So when you go to the bath or something, you get rid of the waste from your body, so that when you go to the bath, you come to certain integrity to your water element in your body, and which is the maximum amount in your body.
70%.
70%, yeah, or more also, or
More
less,
also,
depending
less
on that
also,
one.
yeah,
It
yeah.
Depends from people to people.
Yes.
But I'm saying you have a bath. First thing. Second thing is see, water element is taken care of. Yes. Food is the another one, which is the earth element.
Yes.
So when you walk into the temple, walk barefoot. So you have maximum contact with the earth. If it is a very powerful space, then the entire space is also consecrated. That is the reason, I'll tell you, if you visit many of the energy spaces from the past, the temples the temples which has got the closed space and the temples that are inside a cave are actually more powerful because that energy system is reverberating, and that is the reason it is going to hit the space and it cannot escape too far, and the entire granite or whatever it is getting consecrated, it is getting bombarded by that energy 24 hours 24/7. So because of that reason, the entire wall is also consecrated. So even if you remove the linga or any energy space, what is from there, it is going to stay alive for a long period of time.
Wow.
That is the whole reason, if you visit this samadhi caves and everything, the entire space is getting consecrated that way. So first thing is having a dip, a little bit empty stomach. You should not be feeling heavy in your stomach. The third thing is walking barefoot. Few other things you can do it is you have to close your legs always, and do not face your legs towards the energy space. The reason is because when you go over there, see, if you are looking for a materialistic well-being, I think I should not be saying, but since the question is there, I should be saying, using this opportunity. If you expose your lower part of your body, then your lower chakras will get energized, and that's how people become very materialistic and everything. I think you must have seen, and they become successful, materialistically very powerful people, but they have not got the life sense.
Yeah.
They have not transcended that individuality.
That's true.
Another thing is going to be do not eat around that energy spaces, because once you eat, you'll be opening your lower chakras, and then that energy does not know any, it does not have any discrimination. It's just like the rain. When the rain comes, you want to say, okay, I don't want to get wet. It doesn't work that way. The moment you go under the cloud with the rain, it is going to wet you. Same thing with the energy space also. So that is the another thing. And another thing can be, if you prepare, if you know where you are going and everything, if you have some something going on. For example, nowadays Isha, Sadhguru has given something like Isha Kriya is there, Miracle of the Mind is also there. You can practice that a little bit and go. That is also there. And using the dhupam, that is also very, very powerful for the people who are beginners and everything. For example, for the people who are Kriya Yogis and everything, who are receptive and everything, it happens here, you don't need to do. For example, for me, when I go to Pashupatinath or pass by, even on the road, Pashupatinath knows I'm there. It's not me knowing Pashupatinath there, he knows. Okay?
It's energy level.
Yeah, there is other things also. I'm not going too much into that one, because it is going to let people fly off. That's a different thing altogether. But what I'm saying is a dhupam is the best way. That is the reason you may not believe that even the people in Native America, even now what we refer as the medicine men and people, and even in every culture, indigenous culture, they all have this dhupam is there, shuttle, because it connects the another dimension with that one.
Yes.
Dhupam is the another thing, and if you want to wear, you can wear the rudraksh, but you need to keep in mind, use only the panchamukhi rudraksh. It is conducive for everyone. Do not try to wear whatever you want and everything. If you are not energizing those rudraksh and everything, can still be a problem. Because now if you don't use, I think this science is also gone now. See, when you are wearing a rudraksh, you have to energize it first with the higher dimension of power than yours. If you bring, see, for example, let's say why you are wearing rudraksh is because it's associated with Lord Shiva.
Yeah.
Where people from the Buddhism tradition, in many sects, they're wearing the bodhicitta mala and everything. But what you need to keep in mind is psychologically you wear Rudraksh because it's the energy of the Shiva. You think that, okay, it's the Shiva, Rudraksh and everything. But if you don't charge it and you wear it, what is going to happen is now you are programming the Rudraksh based on your energies.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Now, that's not a right thing to do.
Wow.
That's not a right thing to do because, you are already distorted, let's say.
Yes.
If you are a realized being, then that's a different thing altogether. Then you don't even need a Rudraksh. But now you are Rudraksh, wearing Rudraksh. Now your energy system, because you have got 114 chakras, and depending on which chakra is activated in your system, let's say you like foodie, you are a foodie. Now, and you like nice food to eat. Now you will be maybe charging your Rudraksh in a Swadhisthana way, in more dominant way. Now there's no point of doing it. Okay, it's just for a decoration. You look like you are a spiritual, but it's not good. So because of that reason, before you wear it, for certain period of time, depending on what kind of high energy space, you have to leave the Rudraksh in that space, close to in that sphere for certain period of time, so that it retains it. That energy.
Wow.
But after you wear it, now if you are doing a certain sadhana every day, that energy is stored in this one. That is the reason if you just do 21 minutes of sadhana, you can go on like that for 24 hours.
Just we cannot take the Rudraksh and we can wear. Just we have to do certain process and then we
First
have
of all, it has to be recharged. That is the reason when you go to the Pashupatinath.
What is the process to recharge? How one can
No, in the Pashupatinath they do regularly, but
those people who are away from any temples or anywhere and they
no,
want
somebody can recharge and then give it to them.
Yeah,
For example, everything that you buy from Isha, what they refer as a consecrated.
Yes, no problem. Okay, this is on. Okay.
So basically, whatever the consecrated material that you buy from Isha, they have been in the space of Dhanalinga or the Linga wherever for a certain period of time. And for example, we are in Kathmandu Valley at the moment. So in the Pashupatinath, what they do is if you go for the Rudra Abhishekam or something like that, different kind of process, which you can start from 8 a.m. it starts. So if you go inside, you have to ensure that the Rudraksh is also not damaged. Okay, not distorted. You have to check everything.
Okay.
And it needs to have 108 with a bindu. There are a lot of things. Well, I'll not go into that one. So when you take it over there, you leave it there around the linga or in the sphere and do certain kind of process. It will start absorbing that one.
Oh, wow.
But nowadays, just taking the Rudraksh, touching and giving, that is also a good thing, but not good enough to charge in a very powerful way. Wow. It is really, really sad thing that is going on. And one of the dangerous thing nowadays, what I'm saying is when you go to the temple, there will be a lot of people will be giving you the Rudraksh mala for free.
Yeah.
And during the last yatra, these were given, and these are very dangerous because some of them are distorted, damaged, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You should not be wearing that one. And why 108? Because these are the number of chakras that you can work on. So let's not go into too many things, that is going to be too much. But Rudraksh is one thing you should wear it, but you have to be recharged with the power that is higher than yourself.
Oh, wow.
Because what you actually refer as the energy system or the temple is basically, let's say this is a cloth. This is the first time I'm wearing, so it's nice. But if I keep on wearing every day, it will start stinking, and not only that, it will have a lot of wrinkles.
Yes.
What we actually refer as energy space or temple is basically it is going to refine your energy system, and it is going to iron out your energy body. So that it will be just like a new thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So these are a few of the things you can do, and of course the bells are there, all that kind of stuff, and of course vibhuti is the another thing. Depending upon where you are going, if you are going to the Devi temple, that's a different thing altogether. For example, certain kind of ritual processes are being done. In Nepal, it's more prevalent. You have got mantras and different kind of rituals that you can do for a specific purpose. That's a different altogether. And another thing is just putting turmeric or organic material in the third eye. You don't need to put it like this. You don't need to put it long way. I can see people are putting on the nose. It has no use. You putting here, it doesn't have any use. You don't need to make a trishul or whatever it is, but ensure that it hits your agna.
Wow.
Okay. Why it is? Because you don't need to take somebody's word. If you just sit like this, even if you are not meditating, you'll become very, very focused.
Wow.
And when you get focused, And if you know how to push your energies, life energies into that direction, you can penetrate so many things and you will have a clarity that way. And that is the reason like Ardhanareshwara, the deity Ardhanareshwara is a representative of the Agna Chakra.
Wow.
That is why like when Adi Shankaracharya is saying, I'm not this, I'm not that, and Shivam, Shivam, he's just talking about the Agna Chakra and Sahasrara.
Wow.
He's not talking about anything beyond that, below that one. So in that state, you have gone beyond the dualities. Okay? You are neither Shiva, you are neither the Shakti in terms of the duality. There's no male, female left. And that is the reason like you can see everything as it is. Okay? So, because, see, that is the reason in the past, like why the need of the Guru. Because see, what you're gonna do, you trust your life on the words of the Guru. Yes?
Yes.
That is the reason. Because you don't have opened this one up, you don't have a mastery over your Agna Chakra. But now, you use the word of the Guru as a path.
Yes.
Okay. That's how you don't have a clarity, but you know like what to do. So you need to use this one thing. But if you are a seeker, then what you're gonna actually do is here, and behind this, because like these are connected with the Agna Chakra also. And then your Anahata, and you can go up to the Manipuraka, but don't go below that one. Okay. Because lower chakras, like one of the reasons people may not know why there are no Brahma temples and everything is because your survival process is highly compulsive and automatic by itself. Okay, you don't need to think about the hunger.
Yes.
Hunger is going to push you. About like marriage and attraction towards opposite sex, you don't need to think about it.
Yeah.
It is going to naturally push you. So because of that reason, like yogis who want to transcend the physicality, they found out that like these things are happening by itself. So there's no need of energizing or empowering them. So they focused on the upper chakra. So that's how it was. So use vibhuti, like if it is organic, that is the good thing you can do. Yeah.
I got the answers. Because at the point when I was about to ask another questions that you already answered, and I feel that. And yes, we talk about many triple eyes and spiritual things when you will go to temple, what kinds of power and what kinds of things we have to consider and everything, and that is really very important for all of us, all the people who are going temple first times, what they have to do, to feel that going temple and coming back doesn't help. I think we have to feel the vibes, we have to feel the energy, we have to feel
it is going to work in a way, but it's a very slow process. For example, like let's say use the example that works for everyone. When you're in a college or a school or something, for the first time, you got fall in love, okay?
Yeah.
You cannot forget about the opposite sex and then you think about them all the time.
Yeah.
It's completely hijacked.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to see that another person in physicality? Do you want to see them after 10 years, after 20 years, after you have got old or they got old, or at the moment of the death, or you want to see them as quickly as possible? So that is the kind of the urgency you need to have if you want to defeat what you actually referred as mortality. And another thing is like you want to know like what all this life is all about. But like we mentioned earlier, that like not everybody will be arriving to that point. But as conscious beings, when we have a guru like Sadguru, we have to ensure that like these possibilities are available to everyone. And that is one of the reasons like we conducted this like yatras, and we did one 30 seconds video on with Sadhguru's voice on the top of that one. People meditated around the temples.
Yeah.
You cannot believe like if you may ask me that realistically, how many yatras can I conduct in my entire lifetime? Very few. It's not practical also.
Yes.
But once we created that video, because of the help of the social media and everything, it hit like more than 2 million views.
Wow.
And out of 2 million, like even 1% people goes to the temple and sits there, it's going to work one way or the other. So I'm not saying like it's not working, but it's a slow process if you don't have a guru or a spiritual process. So if you're willing and everything, then inner engineering is there, inner engineering program to begin with, and now you can do it online. Like you cannot, complain that like, okay, I'm living in this place, why it is not happening here. You cannot say that. Now it's available. Like if you're gonna do that, Miracle of the Mind is there. Just 7 minutes to begin with. Yeah.
Yes.
Like that. But again, like if you want to go faster, like there are ways.
So if you want to visit many powerful places in Nepal and India, Ramana is already conducted the Mandala Yatra. You can visit to his page and you can, contact him. You can DM.
Yeah, there's a website called like a sanidhi.net.
Sanidhi.net. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a contribution from like a lot of other meditators and everything. There were like a lot of challenges and all that kind of stuff. Just like Anna said, like there's a grace always with us,
Yeah.
with Sadhguru and all the beings before us, realized and enlightened beings and many other beings. Without them, like this would not have been possible.
Yes.
That is the reason, like we have always kept it, free. Like we are not even expecting any donations or anything. We'll never expect, and we'll never know like who these guys were, but. Yeah, we're just like doing one more extension of Sadhguru's and all these beings' work.
That's a great job, Anna. That's a great job. That's a great help for all the sadhak who are really want to experience some amazing things with you. Because what I feel is those people who are vibrating, in higher frequency than us, we always have to be with them. As you said, we have to recharge always, and this is a very logical. Oh my God, this every words that you speak that brings goosebump in my. Yeah, really, I feel that. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity again to speak with you. I learned so many things, and this is main significant and purpose of my podcast. And I hope to see you again, Anna. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you.